Welcome to Alpha Marketing, your go-to resource for unlocking the full potential of your small to medium-sized business. Hosted by Aaron Shishilla, CEO of Wolfpack Advising. Now, let's learn how to dominate your market.
Welcome back to the Marketing Alpha podcast. In today's podcast, we're discussing 3 simple social media strategies you can implement to easily 10x your business. Now, I don't mean this as an actual joke. This is actually going to help you level up your business. So social media isn't just for global brands. It's a game changer for local businesses if you do it right. In this episode, I'm going to share with you those 3 simple strategies. And the good thing is it only takes about 30 minutes a day. You just have to make sure you're dedicated to it. Follow everything that I'm talking within this. Learn along the way because you are going to make mistakes and get a little bit better every single day and eventually 10x your business. So the overview of the 3 simple strategies. First, you need to optimize your profiles, right? More likely than not, your profiles aren't set up right. So I'll break down how you actually need to optimize your profiles on the different social media platforms. And then we'll get into strategy 2, which is talking about the content, what we're actually publishing. And then strategy 3 is going to be all about the engagement, which is one of the most important pieces. So these 3 things are like your critical pillars to a social media strategy that is successful. So again, I just want to mention you don't need to be a social media pro with any of this. You just need to be willing to put in the effort every single day in order to learn as you go, implement these strategies, and eventually you'll be well on your way to 10xing your business from social media alone. So first, let's talk about setting up your profiles. You need to create business and personal profiles on each of the major social media platforms. So these can be Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Threads, YouTube, X. If you haven't heard about Threads, it's basically they're like the competitor to X or Twitter, the former Twitter. It's integrated with Instagram, so it's kind of a part of that whole Meta suite. You don't have to do every single social media platform. Eventually, you're going to want to do as many as you can, but it's important when you're first starting out, if you're not really that savvy and into social media, that you just pick 1 or 2. Pick 1 or 2 that you can actually commit to and do, because you don't want to bite off more than you can actually chew. So your business pages are great for consistent branding, messaging, and for your big like advocates or those customers and clients and referral partners that are going to be huge fans of your particular business. You need to have that business page set up, and then the personal profiles are where you can really expand your reach, as you can easily add friends and connect with other business owners. Generally speaking, the reach is going to be higher on personal profiles compared to business pages. So your personal profiles are going to be really great for sharing your personal life, implementing and mixing a little bit of business in there, really expanding your reach, networking and engaging with others. And the business page is that professional side that is going to have the consistent branding, the consistent messaging, the consistent voice, where people can actually see a little bit more about your business, and your brand advocates can go and share content and view what's going on with your business. So they both go hand in hand. They both have their important pieces. Make sure that you have a personal page or a personal profile, as well as that business profile and business page on those platforms. Now, your profiles and business pages need to be professional. And what I mean by that is they need to look clean and neat and organized. Just like if you had like a visitor in your home, if you were getting ready for Thanksgiving dinner or like inviting some guests over at your house, it needs to be clean and neat. And so the same thing goes with your social media profiles. Keep it the same. Make sure it looks like the key term that people might utilize is aesthetic. It needs to just look pretty. It needs to look good. If you know it doesn't look good and it doesn't look pretty, more than likely you're able to see that, right? You're probably able to know that. You maybe just don't know how to do it. Reach out for someone to help. You can contact us, of course, but you could probably talk to friends and family to see how you can make it a little bit more aesthetic or prettier looking, because it is like a public house. You are inviting people to look at your space, what you have to offer, and everything else. It needs to look good. So make sure everything's look clean, neat, organized, just like if you had a visitor in your home. Scrub any political or sensitive content on your personal pages. Please. Do not get obviously political or have sensitive content on your business pages, obviously, but you need to scrub that political stuff and the sensitive content off of your personal pages. If you don't want to do that and you're like, hey, I want to have my political stuff, that's fine. That's fine. Just keep in mind that it's going to hurt or be a bit detriment to your business in this particular strategy. People just get automatically turned off when they see that if it disagrees with their particular beliefs. And if you want to, bring that into your business space, just expect that you're going to push people away if you have that content. So make sure you scrub it if you want to do the job right in this and actually 10x your business. And then make sure your personal profiles are set to public. So what I mean by that is don't hide any privacy settings. You need everything to be public. You need to make sure everybody can look at you and follow you. If you don't want to have like actual personal family stuff, like pictures of kids and things like that, I would recommend having some sort of family stuff in there in personal. People need to get a feel for who you are personally. You can look at my personal page to see what it looks like, but people need to get a feel for that because they like who you are personally. They do business with personal relationships. They don't do business with cardboard boxes or just empty spaces and empty brands. They do business with who they like and trust. So set it to public and make it a little bit personal. You don't have to get super personal with it. Describe everything that's going on in your life. You obviously don't want to do that. You just want to make it sure it's clean, neat, professional looking, and anybody can see it. Now, you want to create your profiles on every social media platform that you're comfortable. I kind of already mentioned this, but it's better to start off with ones that you're most comfortable with first and go deep into those rather than trying to take a big bite all at once and do everything. The most common one, the biggest one, is going to be Facebook. Instagram is another great one. TikTok is one right now that you definitely might want to jump into. Now, just to make a note about TikTok specifically, there are right now currently some lawsuits in place, and TikTok technically has to sell to a business or somebody in the United States, so that way the government doesn't technically own it, the government of China doesn't technically own it, or ByteDance doesn't technically own it. Whatever's going on there, we don't know what's going to happen at this current state. So you can expand into it. Just keep in mind, there's a possibility it could go away. But the reach is there. It is a really great platform. It has a much better reach than I would say like Reels do, which is the comparison on Instagram and Facebook. So definitely something worthwhile if you're willing to spend the time with it and are kind of like a social media savvy person. But just keep that in mind in the back of your head. Like, you need to make sure you get audiences on other platforms. Don't go all in on TikTok. LinkedIn is really good as well for business connections. Threads is a new competitor to Twitter. I find it to be really, really good right now. I definitely think it's something you should look at. YouTube is really good if you're going to do YouTube shorts and add like short videos, kind of like TikTok style videos on your YouTube channel. And then X, which is the former Twitter. I find with X, it's very difficult for business networking of local businesses. It's probably the last one I might go to. I'd probably stick with Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and I might suggest going into Threads and LinkedIn as well. All right, so we set up our profiles. You got all the basics down. Now, how do you do strategy one, which is optimizing your social media profiles for local SEO or local search engine optimization? This is the most critical point here, because if you're not being able to be found on social media, then there's no point. You need to make sure you're found. So local SEOs is such a crucial aspect of any local business. It's when anybody is searching for a particular business in a local area, they need to be able to find your social media profiles. I wanted to say there was some metric that it was like a third of all business or all searches is on Google are local searches. I would imagine it's much higher than that. And the amount of people that actually look at online reviews before they make a purchase, when they do a local search, it's like 97% when I looked at one of those metrics. So like those are like Google reviews, but also Facebook has its own review platform. So you need to make sure that your social media profiles have all of what we call NAP information: name, address, phone number. So make sure your Facebook page or your profile names or whatever on all these platforms are your business name. Don't try and get super fancy with it. It needs to be just the business name. Make sure the business name is just complete and accurate. It's the same across all different platforms, including your website. It matches everything on your website. So if you're going to include the LLC, make sure the LLC is everywhere else. If you're going to include services, make services is everywhere else, whatever your business name is. For us, it's just Wolfpack Advising, and that is everywhere. The name is Wolfpack Advising. Not Wolfpack Advising Services, not Wolfpack Advising LLC. That's the name, just Wolfpack Advising. Next is the address. The address needs to be complete and accurate and the same across everywhere online. So if you're showing your address publicly, you need to list the address on your social media profiles. It does give you an option to enter that address in there, so make sure you put that in there. Now, if it's a private address, make sure you hide it. They do give you the option to hide the address on most social media platforms, so make sure you don't show it if it is a private address, but you could show something like a generic city, such as like if you're in Orlando, Florida, or Houston, Texas, whatever it is, you could put that city there. And now the phone number, that's the final piece of the NAP information. The phone number is also important. Make sure the phone number matches everywhere that is locally. Now, it is a little bit more advanced when we start talking about call tracking. Call tracking is a strategy we utilize here at Wolfpack Advising to find where our leads are coming from. So if somebody calls from a Google Business Profile, we can actually track that, and then we show a different phone number on your Google Business Profile. And the same thing goes with social media. We put a different phone number on social media platforms in order to track the calls or leads coming from those social media platforms itself. So in those cases, it can be different. There's some strategies, advanced strategies we do to make sure it doesn't affect your NAP or basically your local search engine optimization performance. But just if you're doing this on your own, make sure the phone number matches everywhere. So same thing that's on your website, same thing that's on Google Business, same thing that's on Yahoo, whatever. And next to this, you need to use location-specific keywords. Incorporate local keywords in your bio, so your biography about the business, your descriptions, and your posts. Use it even in the hashtags. So for example, if you're a roofer that is located in Houston, Texas, it's going to be things all about roofing, roofing repairs in Houston, Texas, roofing company in Houston, Texas, shingle roof installation in Houston, Texas. All of those are important keywords, so you're going to utilize all of those throughout your entire profiles, all across the web, all in the descriptions, all in the bios, all in the hashtags, and all in the posts. So make sure you're utilizing those location-specific keywords all about your particular business. The final one that we have in this step-by-step optimization for local SEO is geotagging. You can use geography tagging in your post to increase visibility in local searches. So what I mean by that is whenever you do like a post within the app, so if I take out my phone and I take a picture of something that is maybe based in Tampa Bay, like an iconic area like Riverwalk in Tampa Bay, a lot of cities have some type of Riverwalk area. I can tag that particular location that I'm at. So maybe I'm doing a job in, let's say, Miami, Florida, or let's say in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I can tag that particular city, so then that way everybody else knows I am actually servicing in that particular city. So utilize geotags in your posts as well. Now, a little bit of a pro tip, you can set up business citations with a marketing agency or on your own to ensure your business is listed locally everywhere online, and you're doing all these things naturally. Business citations are basically, another word for it is citation management, is ensuring that your NAP or name, address, phone number information is listed everywhere publicly online that it can be, and all the important directory sites. And by a directory site, I mean a site like Yahoo Local, Bing Places, Amazon Alexa is even one, Google My Business is one, Apple Maps. All these important sites that consumers could be searching for your business on, you want to be listed publicly on and have all the right, complete, and accurate information. If information is duplicated, if information is wrong, if information is not listed, that can hurt your local search engine optimization performance. Not only that, the most common thing that I see is a lot of people don't realize how many people have the same company name as you. So if there's a company in Florida that's named the same as the company in Oklahoma, that's the same as the same one in California, what's important is your local search engine optimization. So if somebody's searching in Florida, it pulls up the right one. I will say there's a lot of issues when it comes to local search engine optimization performance with duplicate names. So that part helps with it. If you need help with that, you can reach out to Wolfpack Advising, our agency, our marketing agency, and we can help you with that. You could also do it on your own. You can just search business citations or NAP information or anything like that on Google to find some products or other services, companies that can do it and help you with it. But once you get all your profiles set up, they're clean, they're professional, you're optimized for local SEO, we're moving on to step two. Step two, your content. One of the second most critical pillars of your social media performance. The thing I want to talk about here, the most important thing that you need to take away is being consistent. Don't focus on the quality, focus on the consistency. The quality will come if you're consistent on it and you're taking the learnings you need to out of the previous content. So you need to create high quality content that's on brand that can increase your reach and build a strong brand identity, yes. But you need to do it consistently to consistently learn more and make it better. So I'd rather you focus on posting consistently than posting only a few times to try and get it just perfect. Not everything you start doing is going to be great. It's really hard to just come out the gate and do everything perfectly and make it the best it can be. You're going to learn along the way. And that's what our goal is. So do something that is consistent, create a schedule, set reminders and tasks on your phone, whatever it is, to do it consistently. I would recommend posting at least 3 times a week on your preferred platforms. If you could do it every day, Monday through Friday, for example, and maybe once on the weekend, that's even better in my opinion. I would try and commit to that, but I know sometimes we can't. So if you can only post 3 times a week, that's the bare minimum, post 3 times a week. So quality content. What is quality content? Well, we need to first understand your brand voice and define the brand. The brand is like who you are or what you stand for. Are you friendly and approachable? Your tone. How are you writing? Are you warm and welcoming? Do we talk like we're good friends? Are you positive and energetic? Do we keep things upbeat? Or posts full of life and aiming to energize our followers? Is it clear and simple? Do we avoid jargon and complex language? We need to convey that maybe we're trustworthy and reliable. How do we build trust in our posts and we're reliable? Inspirational posts, engaging and interactive, adaptable but consistent. And then finally ending on consistent posts. So when we talk about the brand voice, we're conveying what does our brand stand for? How do we communicate? And what type of content are we publishing? In the case of most local service businesses, you want to show that you are reliable. You want to show that you're trustworthy. You want to be friendly and approachable. You want to be all those things that I kind of mentioned. So keep that in mind when you're making these posts is you're going to post content that aligns with that particular brand voice. It might be a picture, a selfie picture of you in front of a house that you're doing for a job. It might be, something that you're doing in the office. It might be a testimonial. And it's all going to be around that particular brand voice and what your brand stands for. You're going to mix the brand voice with a content type. So the content types that perform well that I typically would recommend, number 1, visual content. This is like sharing tips on creating engaging visuals with including images, videos, and infographics. So you could be sharing tips in an infographic, right? Or a graphic that you might create. You might create a visual about a roof, or you might create a visual about an HVAC system or some cleaning that you're doing, whatever type of business you're offering. You could also utilize storytelling. So you can use storytelling to connect with your audience in a much deeper level, but talking about a really good success story you had. This would be really good in like a video format or in a long form video or a long form written content. You could do it for a specific on like threads. Threads is a really good place to actually write out content and create what's called a thread. And that thread is going to be a long story that you can tell. You could also do educational content. So provide value by sharing tips, how-tos, informative posts that resonate with them. One of the things like with Wolfpack that we do all the time is give educational content on how to do things on your own, just like this on social media, how you would do it on your own. So this educational content for your own audience does really, really well as well. People may not be ready to purchase, but they need something that is going to help them in the meantime until they're ready to purchase. And that's where that educational content can come in. So we talked about brand voice. Mix your brand voice with your content type. That will make sure it performs well. Now, maximizing reach. How do you maximize the amount of people you're reaching on these different platforms? First is timing and frequency. The best times to post are going to be right before your audience is online. So if the majority of your audience or your followers are online at noon on a Tuesday, you're going to post right before noon. If the majority of your audience on Friday is on at 5 p.m., you're going to post right before 5 p.m. Now, when you create these business profiles, they show you when your audience is online. You can go to the insights and check that out, and they'll show you when the majority of them are online, so you can look at that. And you want to maintain a steady presence without overwhelming your audience. So that goes back to that consistency, at least 3 times a week, but aim for once a day and maybe once on a weekend. That'll be enough to kind of get started. As you do more, you'll get a feel for what's working, what's not, how consistent you want to be based on your schedule, and how it's reaching your audience. Next is engagement. You want to encourage the interaction. You want to encourage the comments. So you want to start by asking questions, running polls, or responding to comments on your posts very quickly by replying to them. The engagement increases reach. So the more engagement you get on these platforms with your posts, the more reach it's going to see. So whenever you do a post for your followers, it only goes out to a few percent of the actual full audience. It doesn't go out to everybody. And then as people engage with it, it shows to more and more people. And the latest algorithms in the last couple of years have now changed to this shift of before it was only your followers that it went out to. But now all the algorithms are showing content that people want to see. So when you have really good engaging posts, it'll start to be pushed out to a new audience or people that are more likely to engage with that particular content. So when we're thinking about our content, we're starting from the top, brand voice. We're talking about the content types that's going to solicit the engagement. We're going to respond to our comments. We're going to solicit a lot of engagement. We're going to time our posts appropriately. We're going to post at the right frequency. And all of those things are going to lead into really good content. Now, a case study example, one thing I want to make a note here is research other companies and business owners in your particular niche and copy what they're doing. Don't copy it, point blank, but add your own flair, add your own personalization to it. But that's the easiest thing to do is look at a competitor that you look up to. Maybe it's not even a competitor, but look at some inspiration. Everything when it comes to creativity starts with some type of inspiration, whether it comes from your own head or you listen to something, you look at something, and that's your inspiration to add your own personalization to it and add your own flair. So let's end on some pro tips that I have to be successful with your content. The first is ultimately you're not going to know what works well until you do. So until you do it, you don't know what's going to work well and what's not. Start posting and ensure it engages the right audience. So when you actually do your posts and your publishing, make sure you're actually engaging the right people. If you're an HVAC tech, if you're a septic company, you want to go after consumers, homeowners. You don't want to go after fellow septic company owners, right? You don't want it to be too technical where it's only talking to other HVAC professionals. If you're a home inspector, you don't want it to be other home inspectors. You want it to be real estate agents or potential home buyers. Learn from your past posts to focus on higher engaging posts in the future. So look at your past posts to see what did well and adjust so in the future you're making more posts like that to get more engagement. Short form video right now is king, so focus on that particular content to get the most reach. And then finally, consistency and long term is the way to go. As I keep on mentioning with this, you're not going to be able to do this overnight. It's going to take consistency. Strategy 3, getting into engagement. I have a very simple strategy when it comes to engagement. Number 1, before you post for that day, spend some time engaging with people you are following and your followers. Just comments, be human, like their stuff, just like a normal human being. Same thing with your brand. Make sure you're keeping in mind the brand voice, what you want to go after. But you're going to engage with your audience and you're going to look for people to engage with. If I'm on my business profile on Instagram and I'm a home inspector, I might look up some real estate agents in my local area because I know they can refer me business, and I might just like and comment on their posts. I might even send them a DM. So before you publish, spend some time engaging with your potential prospects, your potential people, and your audience. Number 2, after posting, spend some time replying to the comments on your post. It could be from the comments from the previous day, but it's important to engage with the people that have already engaged with you and reply back. That helps deliver a more positive experience and helps build the relationship. 3, close the loop by finding new followers that are in your target market and invite them to like your business pages and even consider sending a DM. So it kind of goes back to point 1. When you're engaging with your followers, you need to expand your outreach to and find people that are in your local market that could be referral partners or potential consumers. If you're B2B, it's really easy because you could look for other people that are trying to do the same thing as you on social media and then engage with them in that way. DMs, people get so nervous about direct messaging, but now it's become really, really common to just send a direct message to somebody and message somebody on social media. So just a quick overview, recap of the engagement. Before you post for the day, engage with your followers. Like, comment, interact. 2, after, excuse me. Number 2, after posting for the day, spend some time replying to comments on your posts. And number 3, close the loop by finding new followers that are in your target market, invite them to like your business pages, and even consider sending them a DM so you can add more people to your audience. Finally, wrapping this up, putting a bow on it. The 3 strategies I talked about: 1, you need to optimize your social media profile. Make sure you're found locally. Make sure it looks clean and professional, like you're inviting some people into your house for Thanksgiving. It needs to be clean. It needs to be not dirty. It needs to look aesthetic. Number 2, content matters. Your content matters. It's not going to be great when you first start. It's going to be bad, but the consistency is the most important thing. And number 3, you need to do engagement. If you don't have engagement, you're not going to have a full strategy. The engagement really, really matters and helps build those relationships. These, I guarantee you, if you follow these 3 steps, I guarantee you if you're consistent, it's such an easy way to 10x your business. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. It's going to take time. It's going to take work. If it were easy, everybody would be doing it. But it is a very simple strategy to implement. It just takes time and consistency.
Thank you for listening to Alpha Marketing. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with other business owners and marketers. Your support enables us to continue bringing you actionable advice and the tools you need to thrive. Join us next time for more insights with Aaron Shishilla, and keep striving to be the alpha in your market.